It was very tough for me to grow up as a woman, learning that I have value. Life in Brazil, especially for women, is not an easy place. Even though I came from a very good family, they always were there for me. They tried to help me, but they didn't know what happened or what really happened to me. I don't need people feeling sorry for me for what happened. I want people to see that what happened to me can happen to anybody. And what you can do after that, what you can do when your life is falling apart, what you can do when you think you have no value. The reality is, yes, we do have value. We do have a second chance. We can do great things with our lives. When you live in a country, like machista type of country, that the man has the voice and the woman's voice is totally suppressed, it was very difficult growing up in that type of environment. But being a little girl, I don't remember none of that. At that time, I just remember being fun and enjoy life. And when I was 9 years old, I was abused sexually, and it was very hard. That broke my spirit. And I blamed myself, and I kept that in secret from my parents for so long because I was afraid that they would be mad at me. And what a tiny little girl, 9 years old girl can do, you cannot protect yourself, right? So I grew up, and my teens came. When I was 15, I was raped. And I just started my world fall apart. And I just thought, why this could be happening to me? I don't deserve this. I decided to become a little wild and become this super high extroverted person and looking and trying to find love in the wrong places. So I was 20 years old, and this guy that I had this crush on him, and I thought he was my friend, he drugged me. I remember that the drug was not strong enough, powerful enough, and I remember every single thing that happened that night.
So my youngest son will be 14 this month, and I started right after he turned 4, so it's been almost 10 years of jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is probably the best self-defense for women. If a big 200-pound man is attacking me, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to punch and kick and hurt him the way if he's going to turn around and punch and kick me back. I do feel like staying away, getting away, is something that I can do. And I learned how to defend myself on my back. Again, I can, there are techniques in jiu-jitsu where using my opponent's clothing, I can apply a technique that could make them go to sleep.
If a woman was to be attacked on the street, it's going to be a very uncomfortable situation, and you go into a fight or flight mode. Without training and putting yourself in those duress at times, you go into immediate flight mode. Jiu-jitsu, you learn to operate under that stress, under that duress.
You know, I'm not this great big tough person. I just have these tools. It's a little bit stressful. It's a fight, so I'm training to think quickly, and we do these moves over and over again. So a lot of things are muscle memory and automatic for me.
And that's a big part of jiu-jitsu, is learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's a really important mindset to have, is that I'm being under attack, and being able to clearly think your way through that moment of time, I think is really important.
Our model is about community. I have people who train here that are just starting out in life. Maybe they're teenagers or even younger, just finding jiu-jitsu for the first time. I have people who are maybe early 20s, and jiu-jitsu's become an exciting, passionate thing for them, and they're able to train all the time. They have 7 days a week of training, and they're young enough that their bodies don't really get broken down at all. Even if they get smashed one day, the next day they're feeling great. I've got professionals. We've got doctors and computer experts and this whole group of people who they really are focused on their careers, but jiu-jitsu is a platform that helps them pursue the rest of their life. And so we end up with this really enriching environment. And again, I think our goal is to, what do you want to do with jiu-jitsu?
For me, it took years and years and years until I felt comfortable wanting to have my own class and teach a class. And I was like, this is my hobby, I don't want to work at it, I'm a student, I just want to come to class. But really, I just didn't really have the confidence to do it. Finally, I'm like, oh, I have to do this. Like, now is the time. There are so many women interested, and I'd seen so many women come in interested, but just not quite brave enough to jump into the regular class, where I knew, because I started in a ladies class, so that was the barrier right there. Just having that ladies class would get more women. If you look at jiu-jitsu, there's more and more women doing jiu-jitsu. If you go to a competition, you'll see quite a few women now. But if you look at a jiu-jitsu class with kids, a lot of those are almost 50-50. If you look at the competitions, there are a lot of girls doing it. I think that's awesome. I think those girls are going to have so much self-confidence growing up, and without even knowing it, they're going to have some skills that could protect them if they ended up in a bad situation.
I remember when I was in my 20s, I met this awesome man, a very good Christian guy. And when he met me and I told him, you know what, I'm not that princess that you wish, and I hope you would accept me the way I am. And then he did. And that was a very healing moment in my life, because I never understood what love really was until I met this man. And today he's my husband. And I know he loves me very much. And find my identity was a very hard journey.
I've helped Allie along the way, first of all by understanding and coming to understand over time where she's coming from and the things and the scars that she carries, and really developing a passion to help her heal from that. That's the role I see myself playing in her story. I've seen how she is when she trains and when she's not training, and training's very positive for her. Not just physically to get some of the energy out and some of the dealing with some of the anger that she carries because of her past, but also because it's been building in her the confidence that she knows what to do in a situation, and but the belief that she is allowed to protect herself and set healthy boundaries for herself, which she was never allowed to do growing up. So I got online and I started looking around, what were the alternatives, what are the options around here? And there's lots of great options, fortunately, and that's how I found Impact.
In the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you do have real partners. They're willing to go out of their own way to help you succeed.
You get somebody in class who's your partner, who's brand new, and you're instantly a teacher. We're all always helping each other. And when you get done with a class like that, you feel really good.
Jiu-Jitsu is not about ego. Jiu-Jitsu is about learning. It's about helping others. It's not about winning. It's not about losing. It's about learning. So if you go with that mindset, you can learn so much. So that's what added in my life as in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm still a white belt. I don't know that much, but I have to say, for the tiny little thing that I know, empowered me so much to say, you know what, someone come to attack me, no one will take what I have without my permission. Whatever you're going through right now in your life, it's never too late for you to do something great, for you to empower yourself, to say, what happened to me is not my fault. I didn't cause this. I just didn't know how to protect myself. My story is an ordinary story, but I decided to make my story an extraordinary story.